My wife gave my private yacht away as a birthday present to a college intern. The kid, of course, had to post it all over his Instagram. Thank you, Miss Sullivan, for the incredible gift. I'll work twice as hard to repay your faith in me. My executive assistant, Alex, sent me the screenshot. In the picture, the intern was dressed in an expensive tailor-made suit, standing uncomfortably close to my wife, Claire Sullivan. Their body language was intimate, like a couple celebrating an anniversary. I forwarded the image directly to Claire's phone. You want to explain what the hell this is? I texted, and why my yacht is now registered to your intern. Her reply came as a voice memo, her tone laced with exhaustion. Ethan, relax. It's just a yacht. It's not like you're short on them. I gripped my phone, fighting the urge to shatter it. You have 10 minutes to get him off my boat. She left me on read. I pulled up the live feed from the yacht security cameras. The intern, Leo Vance, had tears welling up in his eyes. Miss Sullivan, this is all my fault. Mr. Ford must have misunderstood. I know I don't deserve a gift like this. I'll get off myself. He said the words, but his feet didn't move an inch. A flicker of pity crossed Claire's face. She grabbed his arm, pulling him back. Leo, you're kind, and you work harder than anyone I know. You deserve the best things in the world, she said, her voice soft. Mr. Ford is just jealous of your talent. Don't pay him any mind. That's when I called the police. The Harbor Patrol was there within minutes. Through the grainy security feed, I watched as Claire and Leo were escorted off the yacht in front of a small crowd of onlookers. Their expressions a mixture of shock and panic. Claire and I may be married, but a union like ours, a merger of dynasties, really comes with an ironclad prenup. She has absolutely no authority over my personal assets. If she wasn't going to listen to reason, I'd have to teach her and her pet project a lesson in consequences. That evening, Claire was the first to be released. She stormed into our penthouse, slammed her handbag on the marble countertop, and marched straight toward me. Ethan Ford, have you had your fun? She seethed. You have 3 other yachts just sitting in the marina collecting dust. What's the big deal if I give one to my assistant? You had us arrested, she shrieked. Do you have any idea what that could do to Leo? He hasn't even graduated yet. A criminal record would ruin his entire life. He's just a kid from a poor family in Appalachia who fought his way here. Is that Ethan? The great Ethan Ford, heir to the Ford fortune, can't stand to see someone with nothing make something of themselves. I grab her by the collar of her silk blouse, pulling her so close our faces were inches apart. Claire, have I been too good to you? Is that the problem? I snarled. When did you get the nerve to talk to me like this? My roar seemed to snap her out of her righteous fury. Her eyes darted away, unable to meet my glare. Claire and I grew up together. You could say we were childhood friends. She was always beautiful, and I'll admit I had a soft spot for her. But in our world, love is a luxury few can afford. From a strategic standpoint, the Sullivans weren't the ideal match for the Fords. As the sole heir to Ford Industries, my duty was to the family legacy. I never imagined I would actually marry Claire Sullivan. Then, 5 years ago, Sullivan Corporation was on the verge of bankruptcy. They desperately needed a lifeline, and a marriage was their last resort. I was studying abroad at the time, finishing my thesis. Claire flew halfway across the world, found me, and wept in my arms, begging me to marry her. She swore she'd be a perfect wife, that she would be loyal to me forever. Seeing her so broken and vulnerable, I relented. I went against my family's wishes and agreed. In the 5 years since, propped up by Ford Resources, Sullivan Corporation didn't just recover. It thrived, and now it seemed they'd grown powerful enough to forget who put them there. Claire's bravado faltered, but she still tried to hold her ground. I was just making a point. I laughed a cold, sharp sound. A point? Let's talk about points. Claire, Leo Vance, is an intern from some no-name state school who hasn't even finished his degree. I graduated from the Ivy League, top of my class with multiple published papers, and I'm now the CEO of Ford Industries. Since I took over, our market cap has quintupled. And you're telling me he's the one I should be jealous of? Does that not sound completely insane to you? I took a deep breath, trying to control the rage boiling inside me. Claire, if you had just asked me, I wouldn't have cared about the damn yacht. It's a toy. But what I can't wrap my head around is this. You have dozens of senior executives, loyal board members who've been with your family for decades. Why them? Do you give a multi-million-dollar gift to an intern? Do you really think I'm that stupid? I'd already had Alex do a full background check on Claire and Leo. She hadn't cheated, not physically. After 5 years of marriage, there was still some affection there, some history. Otherwise, I wouldn't be wasting my breath on this conversation. My words left her speechless. After a long silence, her expressions softened, the hard edges melting away. She put on a gentle, charming face I knew so well. "You're right, honey. I'm so sorry," she whispered. "I was just angry and stressed, and I said things I didn't mean. I swear to you, I would never ever betray you. I'll keep my distance from him from now on. Can you please just forgive me this once?" She took my arm, leaning against me and pouting playfully, a complete 180 from the ice-cold person she was at the office. Seeing her finally back down, the fury in my chest subsided. I gave her one last stern warning. She promised nothing like this would ever happen again. And for the moment, I let it go. A week later, I was in the middle of closing a major acquisition when my mother called. She was having surgery today. My heart ceased. My parents had me late in life and doted on me. The reason I'd rushed home from grad school to take over Ford Industries 5 years ago was because my father's health was failing. He passed away just a year after I became CEO. My mother, who had been deeply in love with him, was devastated. Her grief took a toll on her health, and she had been in and out of the hospital for the last 6 months, looked after by a team of private nurses. I visited every chance I got. I checked my watch. There was still some time before her procedure. I could finish this deal and still make it, but I knew how anxious she got. I called Claire, figuring she could go ahead and keep her company until I arrived. She picked up quickly, but when I explained the situation, she hesitated. "Oh, Ethan, I'm actually out of town on business. I'm in the middle of a huge project negotiation. I don't think I can get away." Her voice was thick with apology. "Honey, I'll try to wrap things up as fast as I can. The second I'm done, I'll head straight to the hospital." I didn't think much of it. I just said okay and hung up, telling Alex to go to the hospital in my place. For the next 3 days, Claire never showed up. The warmth in my heart turned to ice. Thankfully, my mother's surgery was a success. The doctor said that with proper recovery, she might not need long-term hospitalization anymore. Out in the sterile corridor, he finally spoke. "Mr. Ford, we checked Miss Sullivan's schedule. She wasn't on a business trip." He paused. "It turns out Leo Vance's mother sprained her ankle. Miss Sullivan has spent the last 3 days at a different hospital taking care of her." Alex handed me his phone. On the screen were screenshots from Leo's Instagram. The first post was a photo of Claire at a hospital bedside, sharing a meal with Leo and his mother. Claire was peeling shrimp for Leo, then spoon-feeding soup to his mom, playing the part of a perfect, doting daughter-in-law. The caption read, "The boss is a secret chef. Her home cooking is incredible. So touched right now." The second was a photo collage. Claire peeling an apple for his mom, Claire giving her medicine, and Claire helping her walk in a hospital garden. The caption said, "Claire has been a total angel. If my future wife is even 1% as amazing as her, I'll die a happy man." The third post was from a shopping spree at Bergdorf's. Photos showed them surrounded by bags from luxury brands. The caption read, "Miss Sullivan has the best taste. Every piece she picked out fits like it was custom-made." Made me feel a little guilty, though. Blushing emoji. I'll have to work twice as hard to deserve this. In one photo, Claire was on her tiptoes, adjusting the collar of Leo's new designer coat. His mother stood beside them, beaming. Staring at those pictures, a cold fury rose within me. Where is she now? Alex glanced at me nervously. She's still shopping with them. I have a team following them. I pulled out my phone and dialed her number. "Claire, I want you at this hospital in 30 minutes. There was a stunned silence on the other end, as if she'd only just remembered she had a husband. "Oh, Ethan, I'm so sorry. I got so caught up. I completely forgot about your mom's recovery," she stammered. "I'm at a meeting right now. I promise I'll be there tonight." "Okay." My expression darkened. "A meeting?" "Claire, You are a real piece of work, I said, my voice dripping with sarcasm. Playing nursemaid to some stranger's mother. Why can't you spare a single moment to visit your own mother-in-law? She fumbled for an excuse. Ethan, Leo's mom hurt her ankle. They don't know anyone in this city. I was just helping them out because they seem so lost. Don't read too much into it. I don't want to hear your excuses. I cut her off. 30 minutes. I want to see you here. To my astonishment, she refused. Ethan, I told you I'm in a meeting. I can't just leave. I will be there tonight. And with that, she hung up. I tried calling back, but it went straight to a cold, automated voicemail. Alex spoke quietly. Sir, my team just reported in. Ms. Sullivan put Leo Vance's mother in a car service. It looks like she's heading back to her hometown. He added, Ms. Sullivan and Leo are in an Uber on their way back to the Sullivan Corp headquarters. I nodded slowly. Fine, we're going to Sullivan Corporation. When we arrived, I told Alex to wait in the car. I strode into the building and pushed open the door to Claire's office without knocking. And there he was, Leo Vance, sitting in Claire's leather executive chair, casually fiddling with the custom-made fountain pen she always kept on her desk. He saw me and went pale. He shot to his feet, stammering, Mr. Ford, Miss Sullivan is in a board meeting. I was just tired, so I was sitting here for a second. I ignored his pathetic explanation. My eyes were locked on the pen in his hand, a one-of-a-kind Mont Blanc I'd had commissioned in Geneva for our first anniversary. Its cap was encrusted with a pave of pink diamonds, and the barrel was engraved with our initials. That pen was a gift from me to my wife, I said, my voice low but carrying enough weight to make the air in the room freeze. What makes you think you have the right to touch it? Leo's hand trembled, and the pen clattered onto the thick carpet. He scrambled to his knees and began slapping himself across the face hard. Mr. Ford, I'm sorry, miss. Sullivan gave it to me. I was wrong, he cried. I didn't know it was a gift from you, or I never would have accepted it. I'll never do it again. Please, just don't hit me. A cruel smirk played on my lips as I watched his little performance. Sure enough, on the 8th slap, the office door flew open. Claire stormed in, her face a mask of fury. She immediately rushed to shield Leo. Claire, I'm so scared, Leo whimpered, hiding behind her like a child. I don't know what I did to make Mr. Ford so angry. Half his face was already red and swollen, tears streaming down his cheeks. He was the very picture of pitiable innocence. Don't worry, Claire said, shooting him a reassuring look. I'm here. Ethan Ford won't lay a finger on you. Then she turned to me, her eyes blazing. Ethan, have you lost your mind? She yelled. What did Leo ever do to you? Why do you have to keep tormenting him like this? Making a scene at my company over nothing? What are my employees supposed to think of him now? And now you're physically attacking him. When did you become such a vicious, cruel man? I stared at her, my face a cold, hard mask. Claire, you're asking me what he did? Don't you have a clue? My mother is in the hospital recovering from major surgery, and you're nowhere to be found. But this little parasite's mother sprains her ankle, and you drop everything to play nursemaid for 3 days straight. I let out a sharp, humorless laugh. Let me ask you something. Are you my wife, or are you auditioning to be his? Her face went pale, and she guiltily avoided my eyes. Ethan, you got all wrong. Leo's mom was visiting from out of town, and she got hurt. They don't know anyone here. As his boss, wasn't it right for me to help him out? There's nothing going on between us. Can you please stop being so paranoid? I burst out laughing. Nothing going on? You gave him my yacht as a birthday present. The custom pin I gave you for our anniversary ends up in his hands. My mother has surgery, and you're a ghost, but his mother twists her ankle, and you wait on her hand and foot for 3 days and 3 nights. Who the hell do you think you're fooling? Without another word, I swung my arm and slapped her across the face. The sharp crack echoed through the silent office. Claire stumbled back, stunned. A moment later, she let out a piercing scream. Ethan, are you insane? You hit me. She clutched her reddening cheek, her eyes wide with disbelief and rage. But when her gaze met my icy stare, a flicker of fear replaced the anger. Ethan, how long are you going to keep this up? She demanded, her voice trembling. I just felt sorry for him. He's all alone here trying to make it, and he works so hard. I was just rewarding him. Why are you blowing this tiny thing so out of proportion? What kind of man are you? That did it. The woman was still defending him. My temper, which I had barely managed to control, flared up again. Leo's eyes darted between us. Seeing his chance, he stepped in front of Claire. Mr. Ford, it's all my fault. Don't take it out on Claire. If you want to hit someone, hit me. I looked down at him, my expression one of utter contempt. Leo, I'll give you this. You're clever and you're ambitious, but I've seen your type a million times. Little parasites who latch on, try to weasel their way into a woman's bed and her bank account. I have no respect for your kind. I lifted my foot and drove it hard into his stomach. The force of the blow sent him flying backward, and he crumpled to the floor, gasping for air. Remember this? I snarled, walking over to him. This is me hitting you. I kicked him again hard. Ethan, stop it. Claire screamed, lunging at me. I shoved her away. Veins bulged on Leo's forehead from the pain, but he struggled to his feet. He probably figured a beating today would earn him an even bigger place in Claire's heart. It was a worthy trade. Mr. Ford, I know you don't like me, but you shouldn't misunderstand Claire. He choked out. If you're still angry, just hit me. I won't fight back. Is that right? Well, since you asked so nicely. I grabbed him by the hair, yanked his head back, and started slapping him across his smug face. The sound echoed in the room. Slap, slap, slap. Soon, his face was a swollen, purple mess, and blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. A flicker of something wild and desperate flashed in his eyes. Is Mr. Ford satisfied now? He spat. Satisfied? We're just getting started. I began hitting and kicking him in a frenzy, beating him relentlessly. Finally, the fear broke through his act. Tears streamed down his face as he begged for mercy. Mr. Ford, I'm sorry. Please stop. Claire kept trying to intervene. I finally had Alex, who had come in, hold her back. The office door had been left open during the commotion. Now, a crowd of employees had gathered in the hallway, staring in stunned silence. No one dared to step forward. They all knew I was Claire's husband, and they had all seen the not-so-subtle flirtation between their CEO and her new intern assistant. Watching Leo get beaten, you could see the grim satisfaction on their faces. They'd all seen his daily posts on Instagram, showing off his new life. They knew exactly what he was, and, in turn, tried to take a shortcut to the top while they toiled away for years. They despised him for it. When I was finally tired, I let him go and collapsed in Claire's chair, breathing heavily. I loosened my tie and looked at Alex. Call our lawyer. Tell him to draw up the divorce papers. I want everything that belongs to me down to the last cent. Alex looked shocked. He knew how deeply Ford Industries and Sullivan Corp were intertwined. A sudden divorce would have major repercussions for our company as well. Mr. Ford, are you sure? Positive. I want those papers on my desk by tonight. Yes, sir. Alex let go of Claire and immediately made the call. Claire's face went white. Her eyes were wide with disbelief. Ethan, how many times do I have to tell you? There's nothing going on between me and Leo. You're going to divorce me because I was a little too nice to him. I swore I would never leave you, she cried. I will not sign those papers. My patience was gone. I stood up to leave. Claire, you know I don't tolerate betrayal. If you don't agree, that's fine. Wait for the summons from my lawyers. Seeing my resolve, she finally panicked. She rushed forward and grabbed my arm. I couldn't believe it either. The woman who had been so sweet and docile just days before was now baring her teeth at me over a manipulative college kid. She was a stranger. It was absurd. I narrowed my eyes. Claire, when I do something, I own it. But you would rather believe a complete stranger than your own husband. Fine. She turned her head, unable to meet my gaze, a flash of guilt in her eyes. But she pressed on, her voice cold. If you ever touch him again, I swear I will make you regret it. She slammed the door on her way out. It was clear I had been too lenient with her. She had forgotten her place in the world. Fine. Everything I'd given her, I would take back with interest. The next morning, Alex came into my office, his expression grim. Mr. Sullivan didn't just rehire Leo Vance. She promoted him to be her executive assistant. She also sent out a company-wide memo warning that anyone caught gossiping about him would be fired on the spot. He showed me a screenshot from LinkedIn. It was Leo. All the hard work is finally paying off. A special thank you to Ms. Sullivan for her vision and for always believing in me. I promise to repay her faith with action and dedication. The accompanying photo was of Claire smiling as she placed that custom Mont Blanc pin back into his hand. To add insult to injury, she had posted his official appointment on the company's public page and tagged me in the announcement. I knew she was trying to provoke me, to challenge me. It worked. "Alex," I said, my voice dangerously calm. "Sell every share of Sullivan Corp we own. Terminate all of our joint ventures and partnerships effective immediately. And my birthday is in 1 week. Send invitations to every major player in New York. I have an important announcement to make." "Yes, Mr. Ford." For the next week, I didn't go back to the penthouse. I moved back into the old Ford family estate. My mother was home from the hospital, and I wanted to spend time with her. She knew something was wrong the moment I walked in. I told her everything. My mother was furious. Claire Sullivan, the Sullivans, the nerve of them. If it weren't for our family, they would have been bankrupt years ago. And this is how she repays us? By publicly humiliating the Ford family. She looked at me, her eyes firm. "Son, whatever you decide to do, you have my full support." As Ford Industries began dumping its massive holdings of Sullivan Corp stock, their share price plummeted. Rumors of our impending divorce swirled through the financial world, but neither of us made a public statement. Claire, it seemed, still hadn't grasped the gravity of the situation. She thought I was just throwing a tantrum. With her protection, Leo was living like a king at Sullivan Corporation. The same people who had despised him were now lining up to kiss his ass. His Instagram was a daily stream of photos with Claire, intimate dinners, high-profile industry events, shopping trips, and movie nights. After 4 straight days of the stock hitting rock bottom, Claire's parents finally panicked. They dragged her home and read her the riot act, demanding she come and beg for my forgiveness. She apparently told them she wouldn't bow to anyone and stormed out. Unable to control their daughter, they started calling me frantically. I ignored every call. That night, they showed up at the estate. My mother was livid. She smashed a porcelain teacup on the floor at their feet. "This is the kind of daughter you raised, and you have the audacity to show your faces here. Please, our Claire is young and foolish," her mother pleaded. "She would never actually betray Ethan. She's just being stubborn." My mother laughed coldly. "Stubborn? I was in the hospital having surgery, and she never once came to see me. But when that boy's mother sprained her ankle, she was there for 3 days and 3 nights. I didn't even know about that until Ethan told me. I have no such daughter-in-law. Get out. Get out of my house." Claire's parents left, their faces dark with humiliation. The night of my birthday party arrived. The ballroom was filled with a who's who of New York society. The Sullivans were there, too. Claire's parents tried to approach me several times, but I smoothly avoided them. Finally, her mother cornered me, her voice a desperate whisper. "Ethan, Claire has been a fool. We'll teach her a lesson when we get home. I promise. Please don't be angry. The stock, the canceled contracts. Sullivan Corp can't take much more of this. Can you please just—" Just then, Claire walked in. Her voice cut through the air, cold and defiant. "Mother, stop begging him. I don't need a force. With my talent and Leo's, Sullivan Corp will be more successful than ever." The entire room fell silent. To everyone's astonishment, she had brought Leo Vance with her to my birthday party. It was a public slap in the face to the entire Ford family. No one could believe she could be so stupid. The moment they saw Leo, the color drained from her parents' faces. "Claire," her father hissed. "It's Ethan's birthday. What is he doing here?" Leo looked directly at me, a smug, challenging glint in his eyes. Claire was nonchalant. "Dad, Ethan and I are still married. I'm his wife. What's wrong with me bringing my assistant to a party?" Her father finally snapped. He lunged forward and slapped her hard across the face. "How did I raise such a goddamn fool?" he roared. "You have dragged the Sullivan name through the mud." Claire clutched her cheek, her eyes wide with disbelief. It was the first time her father had ever laid a hand on her. Tears welled up instantly. Dad, what did I do wrong? She cried. Leo is a good person. Why is everyone against him? Is it because of something Ethan told you? You still dare to mention his name? Her father was trembling with rage, pointing a shaking finger at her. Look where you are. This is a Ford family event. You bring this piece of trash who sleeps his way to the top end of this house. Are you trying to destroy what's left of our family's reputation? Leo stepped forward to defend her, but her father shoved him back violently. Get away from her. This is not your place. You think you can act high and mighty in the Ford's home? Leo's face turned beet red, tears of humiliation springing to his eyes. Claire shoved her father's hand away, her heart aching for Leo. She pulled it behind her and screamed at her father, her eyes blazing. He's with me. You have no right to treat him like this. A collective gasp went through the room. Now everyone could see Claire Sullivan for what she truly was. This was a show I had invited them all to see. You ungrateful child. Her father clutched his chest, struggling to breathe. Her mother rushed to his side, her own face a mask of disappointment. The drama had played out long enough. I stepped forward, clapping slowly. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant, I said, my voice ringing through the silent hall. Well, Claire, since you clearly have no respect for my family, allow me to make an announcement. My voice rose, powerful and absolute. From this day forward, Ford Industries will have no association whatsoever with Sullivan Corporation. And if anyone in this room chooses to do business with them, you'll be choosing to be an enemy of mine, an enemy of the Ford family. The words hung in the air, heavy and final. The room was utterly still. Ford Industries was the titan of New York. Sullivan Corporation, for all its recent growth, was nothing in comparison. Everyone in that room understood what was happening. I had just declared all-out war, and Claire Sullivan was a fool who had brought a knife to a gunfight. Within seconds, you could feel the shift in the room. People subtly moved away from the Sullivans, aligning themselves with me. They knew Sullivan Corp was finished. The realization finally dawned on Claire. Her face went deathly pale, and her voice trembled. Ethan, that's enough. Don't take it too far. Too far. I raised an eyebrow, looking down at her. Claire, you brought your boy toy to my birthday party to publicly humiliate my family. Did you think about the words too far then? She took a deep breath, her voice softening into a desperate plea. She reached for my arm. Honey, I told you I never betrayed you. You just wanted to submit, right? Okay, I'm sorry. I was wrong. Is that what you want to hear? I shoved her hand away, done with the conversation. Security, I called out, get these two out of my house. As the guards grabbed them, Claire started screaming. Ethan, I already said I was sorry. What more do you want from me? We're husband and wife. How can you do this to me? I looked at her with a detached, mocking expression. Not for long. Check her email. The papers have been sent. That's when the real panic set in. Ethan, I'm sorry. I won't divorce you. Honey, please. Her parents rushed forward, weeping and apologizing, begging me to reconsider. I had them escorted out as well. In the weeks that followed, Sullivan Corp's partners pulled out in droves. Over 80% of their projects were frozen. Their stock became worthless. Soon, news broke that their credit lines were cut. Banks and suppliers started showing up at their doors demanding payment. Finally, under the crushing weight of it all, Claire signed the divorce papers. My one condition was that I would cease my active campaign against her company. It didn't matter. Sullivan Corp was already in a death spiral. No one was willing to invest in a sinking ship. Bankruptcy was inevitable. A month later, my butler entered my study. Sir, Miss Sullivan is outside. She's kneeling on the driveway. Should I let her in? I didn't look up from my work. No, let her kneel. Outside, lightning split the sky, followed by a sudden torrential downpour. I walked to the floor-to-ceiling window of my study and looked down at her, my expression cold. Claire was a wreck, soaked and shivering, a shadow of the powerful woman she once was. Ethan, she cried out, seeing me at the window. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Please save my family's company. I'll do anything you say. Funny how clarity comes when you have nothing left. If I hadn't bailed them out 5 years ago, the Sullivans would have been history. The moment they got back on their feet, Claire seemed to forget who put her there. I took a large black umbrella and walked slowly out the front door. The rain hammered down on the taut fabric. When Claire saw me approaching, her eyes lit up with a desperate hope, like a drowning person spotting a piece of driftwood. She struggled to her feet, her knees scraping against the wet asphalt, leaving bloody streaks that mixed with the rain and grime. "Ethan," she rasped, her face streaked with rain and tears. "I was wrong. That bastard, Leo, he cleaned out the company's last liquid assets and ran. I finally see the truth. I was blind. I was stupid. I was a fool. I regret everything. My family's company is gone. Please, for the sake of what we once had, just help us one last time." I stood over her, feeling nothing but cold indifference. "What we once had," I scoffed, my voice colder than the rain. "Claire, when you were giving away my yacht and my anniversary gift to your intern, did you think about what we once had then? When you were playing nursemaid to his mother while my own mother was undergoing surgery, did you think about it then? When you promoted him and brought him to my birthday party to humiliate me and my entire family, did you think about it then? You deserve every bit of this, Claire. It's a mess of your own making. Why do you have to come here and beg me to clean it up for you so you can get back on your feet and slap me in the face again?" The rain poured down her pale face. The regret was eating her alive. She opened her mouth, but no words came out. There was nothing to say. "I'm not doing anything to you," I said calmly. "I'm just taking back what belongs to my family. I built you up, and now I'm taking it all back. It's perfectly fair, but for the sake of what we once had, I will give you one final gift." I snapped my fingers. Two of my security guards appeared, dragging Leo Vance between them. I'd had him under surveillance the whole time. He wasn't going to get away that easily. "This is between you two," I said, stepping back. "Settle it." I saw a fire ignite in Claire's eyes, a blaze of pure, unadulterated hatred. Perfect. I had the guards throw them both out beyond my gates. I didn't want their mess on my property. Leo, who had injured his leg trying to escape, struggled and screamed, but no one listened. He couldn't run now, even if he wanted to. Claire's eyes fell on a heavy wooden club someone had left near the curb. Without a word, she picked it up. "Claire, no. I'm sorry. I had my reasons." She wasn't listening to his pathetic excuses anymore. Her family was ruined. Her life was over. And the man cowering before her was the cause of it all. The sound of the club hitting flesh again and again echoed through the storm. The relentless pounding and the driving rain drowned out Leo's screams, turning them into fragmented, agonized cries. I stood behind the glass on my front door, watching the grim theater unfold. Claire was like a woman possessed. Each swing was more vicious than the last, pouring all her pent-up regret, fury, and despair into the beating. "It was you. All of it was you," she shrieked. "You manipulated me. You lied to me. Because of you, my family is ruined. Because of you, I have nothing. Now you can die." Gradually, Leo's screams faded to whimpers, then to silence. A dark red liquid began to pool on the wet pavement around him. Neighbors hearing the commotion called the police. The next day, Alex sent me a text. Leo Vance had survived, but just barely. He had multiple spinal fractures. He was paralyzed from the waist down. He would never walk again. Claire was charged with aggravated assault and sentenced to 10 years in prison. She was my ex-wife, after all. On the night of her sentencing, I was heartbroken, devastated. I had a private fireworks display launched over the estate to celebrate. It was a beautiful,